Ensimmäinen puhuja on Mikan kollega Ruotsista ja tämä Sponsoring och Eventföreningen on ollut tosiaan olemassa jo tuolta vuodesta 1986 ja tällä hetkellä heillä on yli 300 jäsenyritystä eli hyvin pyyhki. Tervetuloa Niklas, Birgetz. Välkommen. Welcome.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much, and thank you very much for being invited here, Mika and the rest of you. We will actually start off with a film.
Sponsring och Eventföreningen är en branschorganisation som driver och utvecklar sponsring och evenemangsindustrin. Och vi är idag 300 medlemsföretag. Vi vänder oss till de stora köparna, självklart de som köper sponsring, men också till rättighetsinnehavarna, de som säljer sina rättigheter, men också alla de som finns däremellan, de konsulterna både på sponsring och eventsidan, också leverantörer och kommuner och destinationer.
Swedbank är med i Sponsrings- och Eventföreningen för det ger inspiration. Man har en möjlighet att dela idéer och diskutera frågor med andra personer som jobbar med samma saker.
Ja, den största nyttan av SEFs, förutom då alla frukostseminarium och kvällsaktiviteter de har, är ju den juridiska hjälpen.
Vad är bra sponsring? Sponsring kan vara så mycket. Dels är det ju egna initiativ som företag tar, men ofta tänker man på de där stora sponsoraten som alla ser. Fast de allra flesta sponsoravtalen, tror jag gäller för alla företag, är små engagemang som finns spridda över hela landet. Ofta på inte så stora belopp, men som gör stor skillnad.
Vi är ju en ganska liten byrå som har växt organiskt och kanske inte hinner med att ta del av allt nytt som kommer in i juridiken inom just event och sponsring. Man lär sig hela tiden något nytt och just inom juridiken som kanske anses som inte jättekul är väldigt, väldigt nyttigt.
Att se 40 entusiastiska medlemmar åka med till Chicago, till IEG-konferensen där. Och den känslan som blir mellan de här människorna när de umgås, träffas, skapar relationer och faktiskt skapar affärer med varandra. Det är en starkt intryck på mig. Vi har det främsta nätverket inom sponsring och evenemang i Sverige.
And now you are going to create that in Finland, right? The biggest network in Finland for sponsorship and event. My name is Niklas Birgetz, and I am the CEO for this organization, and it's full-time. And as you heard in the film, I will just show a few slides as well. But as you heard in the film, we have 300 members companies, which is quite a success, I would say. There is an association also in Norway, and when I met Mika in Istanbul, I did understand that when you was talking. You know, it was quite hard otherwise to understand. But I did understand that, and I've talked to some people in Finland before that you need to start this kind of organization, and I'm so happy to be here now and that you have done that. And I think also with the Norwegian and the Finnish and the Swedish association, we can create incredible things in the future. So I'm very looking forward to this. A few facts, what we do in Sweden and what you might do here as well. We have a lot of member activities, of course. Networking is an important part, but also to share. And if, to be honest, I mean, the whole thing with sponsorship in an event is to create the business. And that has to be done, that. And so measurement and all that is so important to create that possibility and to show the rest of the communication market that this is the way in the future. And everything, I think, is about how you experience things, how you relate to things. So that sponsorship works very well with that. And also with all kind of social media, I think sponsorship and event is great. Because the social media needs content. And the content comes from the activities we are doing. And also the heart, you know, what people, if you could choose between different companies, then how could you choose that? I mean, if you look at the telecom market, you look at the bank or insurance or whatever, it's quite similar products. They differ some. But how could you connect to people and just to choose the company you work for? Then this is the perfect way of doing that. And I will show you very quickly also how it is working in Sweden and how the business has been growing. What we have as a vision is to build I did translate it to the event country Sweden, because everything should be around that. And it could be the small events, but also the huge, like the Olympics or whatever. This is the advertising in Sweden, and it's maybe too small to see, but the important thing here is to see that the sponsorship takes 9.1% of the market, which is actually more than the TV commercials do in Sweden. And now, through that the daily press is going down rather quickly, then it's only 1.2% from daily press with the sponsorship in Sweden. So we are really taking markets, which is so great. And also the event market, you will see that. But I will also show a picture where you can see the total market in Sweden with the sponsorship, the event marketing, but also the internal event. And how do we get these numbers? As I see, the source is IRM. I think you might have that, or at least you can have connected with it. It's an institute for advertising and media in Sweden, which makes all this. And sponsorships, the numbers of the sponsorship, they ask 200 right holders, how much do you get in sponsorship? So that they could get that figure. And concerning the event, they ask 70 event marketing bureaus. How much do companies put into events in Sweden? And then you can also differ then between the external and the internal. But very important here is to see that it's only the bureaus that has been involved in events. So every event a company do without event bureau, it's not in these figures. So I would say that number would be much more in Sweden. But as you see, it's a huge number of money that's puts into this market. So we are in the right way. And here you can see how the sponsorship is developing. And all this, since we are not finished with the 2013 yet, it's the 2012 figures. And the dotted line is how the advertising market is in Sweden. So the sponsorship is going much higher up than the normal advertising, which is really good, of course. So, a question you might be interested of is how is it different between the sports and the culture and the social sponsorship? As you can see, the sport is taking most of the money, but the one who has been growing most the 2 last years has been the culture sponsorship, actually. And also the social sponsorship is growing, but last year it was not growing that much. Before that it was growing really a lot. So it differs from year to year. But the sports is having the biggest market. And what important to say here, I think, and what I also say, that a lot of the sponsorship marketing is also social sponsorship. Because a lot is in football, other sports, in culture, to get kids to get involved in that. And that is a social way of taking care of the situation. Because they could be hooliganism or whatever they could do, and the sports pick them up. So I think in Sweden, the right holders should work much more to say how the sponsorship actually change the situation and get people not, going out and doing other things. Here is just to show the picture you can see on that one is how it has been growing since 2005. So the market now it is in Swedish crowns, but it's working very well, and there you can also see how the difference is between the culture and the social sponsoring. For me, I don't know if you send out the pictures or whatever, or you can contact me, but it's free if you would like to use the pictures or send them out. Here is just a short picture of the event marketing, and as you see, the events in Sweden is more. If the market is bad, if the companies is letting people go and etc., then you take the handbrake and stop the event marketing. And so was the year 2009. That was and now it's growing a lot again. What we might be a little bit concerned of is how is 2013 turn out? How will the turnout be in 2000? I know that the spring and especially the second quarter was tough for a lot of event bureaus in Sweden. I don't know if the same situation was in Finland, but I know it has been a tough market, and most of them I'm talking to now is saying, well, it's coming back. So I hope we will end up with a positive figure in this event market. I'm sure in sponsorship it will be, but not so sure in event marketing, but I hope so. Otherwise, as you see, it's steadily going up, but it might be a dip because of the market and how it turns out. Here's just a picture to show how it's divided into the corporate ones and also to the ones who do to internal. And the one who is growing most here is the business to consumer, actually, which is, I think it's good. I think the companies and the marketing directors is understanding that now we have to use this channel as well, since the market is kind of completely changed because the daily press is really going down and the social media is rapidly going up, and you have to change how can you communicate with your customers, etc. That was just some figures, but I want to end up these presentations with a few clips from what I think, how could you know, how will you do and how will you work with this in the future? Because you have to be so much more innovative and so much more creative. And you don't have to have the huge budgets, you can do it with small budgets as well, but you have to think new. And that, I think, is the hardest thing for this market, and also the event viewers and the right holders. When I talk to them, and I also talk to the companies, we are very strict in what we have done, and we don't see the new ways of doing things. So I just have a few things to show as an example, and I think this one, I mean, a simple microwave, you can do so much more with it. I think this time I will get it to work. I hope so. Yes. And the sound is on. Is the sound turn on? I have to press. Ah, yeah. Yes. I'm a lawyer in my background, so I'm not a technician. And also, Anders, who would talk later, he said, you know, if my figures of the sponsorship in money concerning, if that's wrong, I'm a lawyer as well, because I'm not an economic person, so... Now something. We actually test this before, because I'm concerned about the technique things. You can at least read what it says. Yeah, thanks.
To church, I passed along the way. Well, I got down on my knees, and I pretend to pray. You know the preacher like the gold, he knows I'm gonna stay. California dreaming on such a winter's day.
You have to listen to the text here.
I stay home and cook with my microwave. Connie have a pumpkin, and then make it rain.
So that's a way of doing it, I think. And you'd really need to be creative and do new things and try to do things. Times are changing. That's just a slide of that. 110 times you look at your mobile phones. The young people spend 36% of their disposable income on the mobile. You rather the 10 last euros you have, you spend on the mobile. Twitter, your Facebook, while you're watching TV. There's so much going on now, and this is the young people doing this. So you have to adjust to that, and you have to think, how will they think about this? This one is an interesting thing. 84% of the teenagers sleep with their phones. How do you react to that as a company? How do you change that? How do you get their attention? I don't know how am I doing. I'm doing quite all right in time. Could I have the... we could... This is a neat one, and it's actually how you could engage for your kids to think that you should join the same as you do. Now we'll see if the film is working with the sound. Or maybe not. Otherwise we will.
Your son, the most precious thing on earth. From very early on, you've got big plans for him. You do everything you can to guarantee he will have a great future. But then, one day, he goes to school and meets friends that will talk to him about things that are just not right. And just like that, you lose control. Not anymore, because Band Sports TV channel will help you. Meet Band Sports Parental Control, a free, easy-to-install browser app. You choose your team and the team you need to block. And voila! If your kid tries to look up some dirty content like the other team's winning goals, no worries. Band Sports Parental Control immediately filters all YouTube sports content, so your kid sees only the results you want. The results of the block team. Just defeat after defeat. Embarrassing, really. And the best of all, always losing to your team. Band Sports Parental Control. One of the most downloaded browser apps in Brazil. Commented by soccer fans, sports journalists, and soccer teams. But the most important result of all, you and your son supporting the best team in the world, your team.
So that is also, you have to be creative, and you can do quite a lot of things with small amount of money. I'm very sure about that. I will skip this movie because I don't think we have the time, but what does this say, and this is a product that actually is today, and that is a help button. You can just put the help button and somebody comes and interact with you. And that is here live today. And that we will see much more of that you have. And you can also, if you have your mobile telephone, there will be a thing that can, if you talk and have a discussion and you don't remember a soccer player, you don't remember, the phone will pick that up and help you and say, well, Niklas, this is the soccer playing you're talking about. And so all this is there already, and it's just crazy when you learn more about that. I wrote a chronicle from the Future Sponsorship Conference last time, and you were there, Mika, as well, and you heard this presentation, and it's just amazing. Google Glasses is always off today because you can today read about persons in your contact lenses. And you can scan a person, so if you're in a bar and you want to date a girl, you can scan that person with your phone, you get all the information, you read it in the contact lens, and you can impress on her. So that is today. And this is also just a few trends. That is, young people are open to communicate relevant, credible transport things. 100 times more powerful than average consumer. There is so many things that you have to adjust to, and just, the companies are, I know, because I was, before this, I was 12 years at Skandia, an insurance company in Sweden, and I know it's hard to get them moving, to adjust to the new techniques, but you just have to do that. But never forget, win, win, win. It has also always have to be that. It has to be a believable connection. It has to be good content, storytelling. You have to be there all the time. That's the problem. I think that's what the companies are really scared about. If you go into Twitter, Instagram, and all that, you have to be there all the time. And never disturb. Always fill the target group's needs. Don't forget to put purpose and measurable business goals. Very, very, very important. I think that's what has been you know, we want to grow more than this, and that's one part of why we're not growing even more. And always deliver passion and share of heart. And most important, the question we always get, what will change in 10 years? The question we never get, what will not change? I mean, we know that in 5 years it will not look the same as now. And then we think 5 years not that far away. Yes, it will change. So that was my presentation.
Wonderful. Thank you.